In my last video, I talked about the Dominican Republic's batting lineup in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Since then, they defeated South Korea in the quarterfinals of the tournament and will be facing the United States in the semifinals, who will have Paul Skenes on the bump. I'm sure you've heard the numbers a million times, but I want to talk about them. In his 2025 Cy Young campaign, Paul Skenes threw to a tune of a 1.97 ERA in 187 2/3 innings pitched across 32 starts, a 217 ERA plus, and a 2.36 fielding independent pitching, two of my favorite pitching stats. Paul Skenes is a top 2 pitcher in the game, with most people that you ask putting either him or Tarek Skubal at the number 1 spot, with the other following. In his first start of the World Baseball Classic against Mexico, Paul Skenes threw 4 scoreless innings while giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and striking out 7 on about 60 pitches. For the semifinal, manager Mark DeRosa said he expects Paul Skenes to be limited to 75 to 80 pitches, giving him an extra 15 to 20 pitches, which, depending on efficiency, would more than likely equal out to 1 extra inning. If he has a super effective inning or two, where he throws 8 to 10 pitches, it might buy him 6 innings. One of, if not the best pitcher in the world, will be facing one of the greatest lineups ever assembled outside of the early 2000s All-Star games, and most certainly the best lineup in the 2026 World Baseball Classic in the Dominican Republic. The irresistible force is meeting the immovable object. One thing I wanted to touch on before this video is over is the history of the DR's lineup against Paul Skenes. I won't go too deep into the lineup of the Dominican Republic, as my last video looks into their bats. However, it is something I wanted to talk about. Ahmed Rosario does have 1 hit versus Skenes. However, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to look at the lineup the Dominican Republic put out against South Korea. First things first, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, and Agustin Ramirez have no plate appearances against Paul Skenes. Ketel Marte is 0 for 5 with a walk. Juan Soto is 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Vladimir Guerrero is 0 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Junior Caminero is 0 for 3. Geraldo Perdomo is 0 for 7 with a hit by pitch and 2 strikeouts, meaning that over half of the lineup that played against South Korea doesn't have a single hit versus Paul Skenes, and 3 of them have never had a plate appearance against him. However, Julio Rodriguez is a different story. He's hitting .500 against Paul Skenes. He's 3 for 6 with 2 doubles and 2 strikeouts, meaning he is the only player in the lineup that has had some success versus Paul Skenes. The Dominican Republic team will have to win this game by doing something 88% of the players in this lineup haven't been able to or hasn't had the chance to do, and that's have success against Paul Skenes. The Dominican Republic will be facing the United States at 8 p.m. tonight, and it should be a very good matchup between the two teams. What are your predictions? How do you think the Dominican Republic will fare against the United States and Paul Skenes? Leave your predictions down below, and I'll see you next time.